Today I'm supposed to tell a story about a family history, and what better history to talk about would be the duck pond. And so you see these right here, they're photos, and photos are memories. And some of these photos were taken at the duck pond, and I'm going to talk about how the duck pond started today. So back in 1996, my grandparents bought a duck pond in Squim, and it was 40 acres big, and it started out as just a field. And they decided to buy this as an investment, so they would sell off pieces of the property in 5-acre parcels, and they decided to keep 5 acres for themselves. So they did that, and they would come up to Squim every now and then from Seattle with their 5 kids, and that was their escape from the city. Well, eventually, they decided to start building stuff on this field, and so they dug up a trench for a duck pond, and they started building a barn. In the barn, there wasn't really anything fun. There was a garage and an upstairs 1-bedroom, so it was a lot for 5 people to sleep in. And so eventually they built an outhouse for people to go outside and have their privacy when they did their business. And the family eventually decided that the duck pond needed more. So when my grandparents retired and the kids were gone, they were empty nesters, they decided to build a house on the property. So my grandma and grandpa lived in the barn and started building a house. And my grandpa worked with the contractors to do this. And my grandma decided she needed to do something too, so she started building a field with lavender. So it started out with 100 plants, which is not a lot of lavender. And she felt kind of bored still, so she decided to go to local Squim lavender growers meetings. And she thought that this was a good way to get involved in the community. She loved it, and my grandpa loved riding the tractor around the farm. So eventually, after they added all of those things, my grandparents started going to street fairs and they would sell their lavender. My grandma decided she wanted to take it further, so she built a shop right next to the house. And after that, my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And this was really hard on my grandma because she could no longer take care of the farm and him. You know, she had to follow him around, make sure he was okay. And this became a lot of work, so the farm went up for sale. And my family was devastated because it was a family company. And so my parents decided to leave their Bellevue roots and go move to Squim and live there. And this was a huge change for them because they were used to the city. But it was very successful, and my grandpa was in the retirement home, and my grandma was nearby that, so she was able to just put all of her time into him. And my parents kept going with the lavender business, building more plants. Now there's 3,000, and the shop was extended. And unfortunately, about a month ago, my grandpa passed away, and this was really hard for my family. But we all went back to the farm, and just to reminisce, you know, and have a memorial for him. And as I looked around the farm, I still saw him everywhere. I saw him in the tree house that he built for my cousins. I saw him on the swing where he built it for our family reunions, and I saw him walking around the duck pond feeding the fish. And so obviously his spirit is still there, and we're still living his legacy. And I think it's amazing that my grandparents built that farm. My parents live there now, and so maybe I'll own it one day. The end.